All right, so now it's time to do the actual password resetting, the changing of the password. And to do that, let's also start with our tests. Let's create 2 more test cases here. Let's first start by saying a user can reset their password when supplying the correct token. And this should also be an async function. And in this case, we're going to do a little bit of the same stuff. Let's say const user equals await register the old, that same user. And then let's say const user, or let's do the same thing. Let's say let user from DB. We're basically going to do the same thing here as before. And then we'll say const reset token is equal to tokens.generate password reset token. And then we will save the token in the DB, just like we did before. So basically everything up to this point is exactly the same. And now we're going to use a new method to actually reset the user's password. And we'll just call it reset. We call it reset password, reset user's. I'm going to go with reset password. And we will pass in that reset token. And in this case, it'll just be the token attribute on the reset token object, along with their new password, which we will say is new PW. Then we will say user from DB. We will get that user back from the DB. I guess we don't even have to fetch the user here. All right, we could just expect that user from DB dot password is equal to, or you know what? No, let's just we could expect that we could log in that user.login. Yeah, let's do that. Let's await user.login, and we'll say the email is equal to new user.email, like that. And then we'll also say, or let's just take the user from DB since we already have them here, their email, and we'll say their password is new user from DB password. So we'll make sure they can log in with their current credentials, and we'll just say we expect that to be truthy, which means that we get a user back here. And then we will grab a reset token for them, and we will save their password reset token in the database, and then we will attempt to reset their password using that token and a new password. Then we will say, hey, let's get that user from DB back out again, and let's expect the same thing. Let's first expect that user from DB dot password reset token. Let's grab both of these here, because I think this is exactly what we want. We expect this to now be null again, and we expect this to be null again, and we expect the user from DB dot password to not equal, let's say to equal, what do we call this? User dot, I guess we want to grab this here, so maybe we should change these names here. We'll just say const old user from DB, and we'll call this one const new user from DB, or changed user from DB, whatever you want to call it, is equal to old user from DB dot password. We just want to make sure these passwords are different to be falsy, just like that. So to not equal each other. And then let's make sure we can do the same thing here. Let's expect that we can log in that user with the new user from DB's email and the new user from DB's password. So we should be able to log in initially when they've registered with their current email and password. We should then be able to change their password here by setting a reset token in the database, saving that reset token, and then resetting their password with that token and a new password. Then we should expect it to set the password reset token to null and the expiration date to null, and then to change the password and to be able to log in with the new password. Let's create one more here, one more simple test that will just say error is thrown when bad token is supplied. Just so that we know that if the user or somebody tries to send a bad token, that things do not work out. Expect assertions to be, let's go with 1 here, and we'll say const user equals await. Let's just do the same thing here. I could type out everything, but I'm not a great typer, so why not just copy paste? Even though copy paste also messes me up every now and then. Then let's go ahead and save that password reset token, just like before, same stuff. Then we'll run a try catch block here. And inside that try block, we will say await user.reset password, and we'll give it a bad token and a new password. And we should expect the error to be an instance of bad request error. And we expect that to be truthy. Cool. So that looks good. Let's go ahead and run npm test the user.test.js file. And hopefully we get 2 failing tests here. And we do, 2 failing tests. And they're the ones we expect. Mainly because this one expected one assertion call to exist. It didn't, so nothing went wrong here. And then this one expected, oh, error is not defined. Error is not defined. Okay, great. Let's try that again. So actually, a couple things went wrong there, but that's okay. Let's fix that. Cool. It expected this to be truthy. It was not. Okay, cool. There was a different error there, I guess. And then here it says user from DB is not defined. Oh, did I mess that up again too? User from DB. Where did I mess you up? Expect. Oh, yeah. I need to change it to old user from DB. This is why tests are so nice. They let me know all of the typos I have and exactly where they happened, which I get a lot of them, so totally fair. Invalid username and password. Okay. User.login to be truthy is not a function. Okay. How did I mess this one up? Expect. Oh, you know what? Because I put these parentheses in the wrong place. That's totally fair. So my apologies. That happens all the time. Let's try you one more time. Okay, there we go. That looks better. Invalid username and password. Oh, maybe not. Let's see where I messed this up. Ah, you know what? Because it's supposed to be hashing this password. So we actually don't want that to be old user from DB. We want that to be the user's password. Cool. And this should actually not be the new password. This should just be new PW because we need we need to pass the plain text password in. Oh boy, I'm messing up all over the place. But at least it's nice to have these errors there so I know exactly what's going on and I know why. Okay, date and hash required. Okay, let's see where I messed up here. Ah, silly, because this user does not have the PW password on it. Again, my apologies. I'm messing up all over the place, but that's what happens when you develop on the fly. So now I'm just going to pass in the plain text password I know is the same, PW. Probably going to store these in variables too, but you know what? This will do. Okay, let's see if we are now where we want. Okay, great. User.reset password is not a function. That's what I wanted to see, which means we have not written this function yet. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's come in here and we will create a new method and we'll say async reset password. And we will give it the reset token that it expects and the new password that the user has set. And so then we will take the user's password and let's hash it. Await bcrypt.hash new password. And we will use the bcrypt work factor to hash the new password. Then we will run a query that awaits the result of. First, we'll search that user in the database. Well, actually, let's just say update users. We will set the password equal to the first bind parameter. We will set the password reset token equal to null. And we will set the password reset token expiration to null as well. Just like that. And we will only do this where the password reset token is equal to the second bind parameter, which will be the token we pass in, and the password reset token expiration is greater than right now, which means it has not expired yet. And if all this goes well, we will return the ID, the email, the username is admin, and created at. Cool. Now we need to actually pass in the bind parameters this time, like I forgot to last time, and we'll pass in the new hashed password and the reset token. Did we say reset token.token, or did we just pass in the whole token itself? I don't know if we did it the same way we did here. Let's see how we describe that in the test. Yeah, we just passed the whole object itself, reset token.token. Okay, so Yep, this looks good. And then if that works, we'll come down here, we'll say const user is equal to result.rows 0. And if the user exists, just like before, we will return user.make public user, the user. Now, having done that, if we do not get a user back and we don't return that user, then we will throw a new bad request error, meaning that token is either expired or invalid. And doing that, hopefully, should make these tests pass. Let's find out. Okay, still have an error here. Let's see what's up. That token is either expired or invalid. Okay, looks good. So let's see why. Where reset token, okay, we have here, we are passing, oh, we're actually passing a reset token.token. Let's just pass in, actually, yeah, that's true, because it is only going to be the token itself. So, because the user isn't going to send us the expiration date. So let's just expect that to be the, let's just call that the same thing, the token, just right here. Just like that. And that hopefully should work. Okay, still doesn't. Let's see why. User.login. Oh, I did the same thing as before where I messed up that test. I apologize. I'm messing up these tests all over the place. I'm just putting those in the wrong place. Let's try you one more time. I swear you're going to pass this time. I feel it in my bones, and it does. Amazing. Okay, so we've done a few things here. We have a few tests in place where the user can reset their password when supplying the correct token, and an error is thrown when a bad token is supplied. And we got those tests passing by implementing this reset password function or method on the user object that first hashes the new user's password or the user's new password, and then it looks up that user by the reset token that they've passed in. If a user exists where that password reset token exists in that row, and that token is not expired yet, then we reset their password to the new hashed password, and we set the password reset token and expiration date to null. Then we return the user, and if any of this does not work, if it cannot find the user based on these two parameters, then we throw a new bad request error saying, hey, that token is either expired or invalid. Reset your password again or ask for a new token and go get it. We'll send you a new email, and then you can go through this process again. Otherwise, too bad. And so having done that, we are now have all the machinery in place on the database side to actually implement password reset. So let's go ahead and save our work. Git status, git add, git commit, implemented functionality to reset password for users based on token, or let's say valid token. Boom, and we're ready to go.